Hi and welcome to TTN Info TV SK channel. My name is Syed and here I'm with the latest news Saturday 1st July 2023. This was OIC to convene emergency meeting to discuss banning of Holy Qur'an in Sudan. Under invitation from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and the President of the Islamic Summit, the Organization of Islamic Cooperation will convene next week an emergency open meeting for the Executive Committee to discuss the banning of the Holy Qur'an in Sudan. The meeting will be held in its headquarters in Jeddah and will discuss the consequences of the banning of a copy of the Holy Qur'an in Sudan on the first day of Eid al-Adha. The meeting next week is scheduled to discuss the measure to be taken against the heinous act and to adapt to collective position on the necessary course of action. The OIC had earlier condemned the burning of a copy of the Holy Qur'an by an extremist at Stockholm Central Mosque in Sweden following the Eid al-Adha prayer Wednesday. In a press release Thursday, the General Secretary condemned the recurrence of these despicable attacks and attempts to violate the sanctity of the Holy Qur'an and other Islamic values, symbol and sanctities. President Sheikh Mohamed and Bill Gates discussed COP28 and climate change. President Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan received Eid greeting from Microsoft founder Bill Gates. In a phone call, the billionaire philanthropist and co-president of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation congratulated Sheikh Mohammed on Eid al-Adha and wished the UAE and its people continued well-being and prosperity. They discussed a wide range of topics including the significance of the COP28 summit the Emirates is hosting in November to December this year. Dubai company owner fined over 1 million dirham for not paying 215 workers' salaries for 2 months. The owner of a construction company based in Dubai has been fined 1 million dirham for failing to pay workers' salaries, the Emirates Public Prosecution said on Saturday. The Dubai Neutralization and Residency Prosecution referred the company director to court, charging him over non-payment of workers' wages. It was found that 215 workers at the firm were not given their salaries for 2 months. The accused admitted that they were not able to pay their staff due to financial challenges within the company, the authority said. Upon hearing the case, the court ordered the company owner to pay a fine of 5,000 dirham for every worker, which amounted to 1 million dirham penalty. 215,000 pilgrims provided healthcare during Hajj 2023, Saudi Arabia. Ministry of Interior Security spokesman Colonel Talal Al-Sholhoub has said the transportation of pilgrims to the holy sites was carried out successfully following their return this morning to Mina to perform the ritual of stoning the Satan at the Jamarat and to the Grand Mosque to perform Tawaf al-Ifada, the obligatory circumambulation of the Kaaba in Hajj. Crown Prince holds annual reception for senior officials performing Hajj. On behalf of King Salman, Crown Prince and Prime Minister Mohammed bin Salman held his annual reception on Thursday for heads of state, Islamic dignitaries, guest of custodian of the two holy mosques, government bodies and head of delegations and pilgrims affairs office who perform Hajj this year. At the Royal Court of Mina Palace in Makkah, the guests were led Malaysia's King Al-Sultan Abdullah Riayatuddin Al-Mustafa Bil Shah, Senegal's President Macky Sall, Pakistan President Arif Alvi, Bangladesh President Mohammad Shahabuddin, Vice President of Maldives Faisal Naseem, Prime Minister of Egypt Dr. Mustafa of Lebanon Najib Mikati, Prime Minister of Somalia Hamza Abdi Barri, Prime Minister of Niger Mohamedou, Prime Minister of Palestine Mohammed Ibrahim, and the Speaker of the House of Representatives of several Islamic countries. In his speech, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman said the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia since its founding is honored to serve the two holy mosques and take care of them and has made this at the forefront of its interest. Pakistan Prime Minister Sharif to attend virtual SCO summit on July 4. Pakistan Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif will participate in a virtual meeting of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit on the invitation of Prime Minister Narendra Modi on July 4, Pakistan Foreign Ministry announced on June 30. In a statement, it said Mr. Sharif's participation in the summit illustrates the high importance that Pakistan attaches to the SCO, which is an important forum for the regional security and prosperity and enhanced engagement with the region. Saudi Arabia Jawazat checks identity of lost Hajj pilgrims via mobile e-service. The General Director of Passport in Makkah and the Holy Site verified the identities of the lost and hospitalized Hajj pilgrims through mobile electronic service. The Passport Director provides the service through special teams in the Guidance Center for Lost Pilgrims and those admitted to hospital in the holy sites. Identity check is carried out by Jawazat team using biometric verification device and then they handle the reports received from the competent and partner authorities to address them immediately. Interior Minister inaugurates several projects in Makkah region security sector. Interior Minister Prince Abdulaziz bin Saud has inaugurated a number of projects affiliated with the ministry in the Makkah region. The project inaugurated by the ministry included a number of centers and headquarters designated for the Directorates of Public Security and Civil Defense as well as a medical center in Makkah, which belongs to medical service at the Interior Ministry. He also launched a club for the Interior Ministry employee in Makkah. The club has been established in accordance with the highest technical and construction standards and with sports, educational, recreational and health facilities. The projects within the custodian of the two holy mosques program to develop the security headquarters came to contribute to further improving the performance of the security sector and the service provided to the Saudi citizens and residents. Hajj Ministry initiative assists 450 disabled people and orphans to perform the pilgrimage. The Ministry of Hajj and Umrah has enabled 450 pilgrims with disabilities or orphans to perform the Hajj rituals this year with ease through several special surveys. The service provided to the pilgrims came within the third edition of Ministry National Hajj Initiative for Persons with Disabilities. The initiative is being implemented in partnership with a number of government and non-profit agencies to achieve one of the objectives of Saudi Arabia's Vision 2030, which aim to improve the services provided to the pilgrims. Europe leaders resume migration talk as Poland and Hungary demand that the rules be changed. European Union leaders opened a second day of migration talk Friday as Poland and Hungary continue to block progress after they were outvoted earlier this month on a plan to share refugees arriving in Europe among the 27 member countries. Some leaders said that Poland and Hungary seem to be fighting a battle started years ago when well over 1 million migrants entered Europe, most of them refugees coming from Syria in 2015 and sparked one of the bloc's biggest crises. Others said that two simply must not be permitted to break Europe rules. A man armed with explosive materials and weapon and wanted for crimes related to January 6, 2021 insurrection at the US Capitol was arrested Thursday in the Washington neighborhood where former President Barack Obama lives, law enforcement officials said. Tyler Toronto 37 was spotted by law enforcement a few blocks from the former president's home and fled through. He was chased by US Secret Service agent. Toronto has an open warrant on charges related to the insurrection, two law enforcement officials said. The officials were not authorized to speak publicly about an ongoing case and spoke to the Associated Press on condition of anonymity. They said Toronto also had made social media threats against a public figure. He was found with weapons and had materials to create an explosive device through one had not been built, one of the officials said. Indian Congress leader Rahul Gandhi meets Manipur governor, appeals for peace. Congress leader Rahul Gandhi appealed to all sections of society for peace in Manipur as violence is no solution after meeting governor in Imphal on June 30. He described the events in Manipur as a tragedy which was painful for the state and the country. China threatens Xi Jinping powers against the West with new law. China is adding to Xi Jinping vast power with a new law that will assert Beijing interest on the world stage. The law threatens to punish entities that act in ways detrimental to China interest but does not specify which lines should not be crossed. Experts says the law underscores China's aggressive diplomacy, but how actively it will be enforced when it takes effect on 1 July remains to be seen. After all, China has been keen to court foreign investment post-COVID. Jack Sello, and political science professor from the University of Pennsylvania, said much of the law is relatively empty rhetoric and largely familiar, but it spells a more assertive foreign policy and stronger pushback against the US. Cambodia Prime Minister threatens Facebook ban after post-rule violent. Cambodia's leader Hun Sen has quit Facebook and threatens to block it in his country after the platform's oversight board recommended he be suspended for 6 months. Hun Sen had called for violence against his political opponents in a video in January which was viewed 600,000 times. His move comes days before he launched a re-election campaign to extend his 38-year-long rule. Hun Sen was a prolific Facebook user and his page had 14 million followers. After he left the platform on Thursday, he also threatened to block Facebook in the country. Talking to government workers in Pursat province on Friday, he warned he could at any time block the platform for a short period or forever to prevent exiled opposition politicians from talking to the country's citizens. Indian state Karnataka High Court dismissed Twitter petition challenging center's blocking orders. The High Court of Karnataka dismissed a petition filed by Twitter challenging several blocking orders issued by the Union Ministry of Electronic and Information Technology on the ground that is devoid of merits. Justice Krishna S. Dixit also imposed a cost of 50 lakh rupees on Twitter, citing its conduct of approaching the court without complying with the central government's order. The costs are to be paid within 45 days to the Karnataka State Legal Service Authority. The court also said that 5,000 rupees would have to be paid for every day that the payment is delayed. Rescuers amputate leg of woman stuck in travelator at Bangkok airport. A woman who got stuck in a travelator in Bangkok airport had to have her leg amputated by rescuers. Her son said the family was shocked and worried about her mental health after the surgery was carried out on Thursday evening. The 57-year-old leg got stuck on Thursday morning after she tripped over her suitcase while on her way to board a flight, local media said. My mother's moral is quite concerning, her son wrote on Facebook. We got to speak to her bit before and after the operation. Even though she showed her strength through facial expression and tone of voice, we knew that deep down she was broken because she just suddenly lost a leg. Pictures online showed the woman who has not been named in a sitting position with her left leg wedged underneath the travelator. Europe inflation slips to 5.5%, but that won't stop central bank rate hikes. Inflation in Europe slid again in June but fell too slowly to offer much relief to shoppers grumbling over price tags or to stop more interest rate hikes that will raise the cost of borrowing across the economy. The annual rate of 5.5% was down from 6.1% in May in the 20 countries that use the euro currency, the European Union Statistic Agency Eurostat said Friday. A fight for the rights to protest in Bengaluru, India. Earlier this year, a group of retired teachers from aided school demanding they be added to the old pension scheme sat in protest at Freedom Park for 142 days with no government functionary visiting them to even receive a memorandum. The hopelessness of the long drawn out protest grew so intense that the two teachers ended their lives, forcing us to abandon the protest even after the 2 days nobody turned up or responded. Sitting at Freedom Park is mostly ineffective and the powers that be just ignored us, said Karibasappa, President, Aided School and College Teachers Federation. President Vladimir Putin calls Prime Minister Narendra Modi big friend of Russia. Vladimir Putin has called Prime Minister Narendra Modi a big friend of Russia and said his Make in India campaign has had a truly impressive effect on the country's economy. Mr. Putin made this remark on Thursday at a forum in Moscow organized by Russia's Agency for Strategic Initiative. Will appeal court's decision to strike down Rwanda policy, says UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak. In a blow to the Rishi Sunak government, the UK Court of Appeal has ruled against a government plan to send some asylum seekers to Rwanda. Mr. Sunak has said he will seek to appeal the decision in the country's Supreme Court. China President Xi Jinping will attend virtual SCO summit hosted by India. Chinese President Xi Jinping will attend the next week virtual summit of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization being hosted by India. An official announcement here said on Friday. At the invitation of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, President Xi will attend via video conference in Beijing the 23rd meeting of the Council of Heads meeting of the SCO on July 4 and deliver important remarks. Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Hua Chunying said in a brief press release. $3 billion loan staff level agreement reached with Pakistan IMF. The International Monetary Fund has reached a staff-level standby agreement to issue a $3 billion loan with Pakistan. According to the statement issued by the IMF, the mission has concluded a standby arrangement agreement with Pakistan worth $3 billion. Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif expressed happiness over the staff-level agreement with the IMF, said the $3 billion will be received in the next 9 months. In a tweet on Friday, the Prime Minister said that this agreement will stabilize Pakistan foreign exchange reserve and help the country achieve economic stability. He said that with the country will be on the path of sustainable economic development. Pakistan's former Prime Minister Imran Khan on Thursday in his Eid greeting to fellow countrymen said this year Eid festival was the most painful one for him. Taking to Twitter to wish people, the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf chairman said about 10,000 of his supporters in jail were being treated as criminal after his supporter attacked military installation and government buildings following Khan's arrest in a corruption case on May 9. For me, this is the most painful Eid. Nearly 10,000 of our activists and supporters have been jailed while being treated like criminals for exercising their constitutional right to peaceful protest, the 70-year-old cricketer turned politician tweeted. Indian Gujarat state to host 4 G20 meets in July. Gujarat will host 4 meetings of G20 in its first 2 weeks on July, including a meeting of Finance Minister and Central Bank Governor of G20 countries, an official said on Friday. The meeting will take place in Surat, Kevadia and Gandhinagar and Ahmedabad, the official said. Gujarat will hold important events in the third phase of G20, which includes ministerial and summit level meetings. Generally, final reports will be prepared in this event, said Mona Kandhar, senior bureaucrat and nodal officer for G20 meetings in Gujarat. A summit meeting of mayor of G20 countries under Urban 20 will be held at Mahatma Mandir in Gandhinagar on July 7 and 8, while a final meeting of the working group of finance ministers, central bank governors as well as finance secretary and deputy governors of central banks will be held in Gandhinagar from July 14, she said. That's all in today's headlines. Thanks for watching. If you want to receive more important headlines around the world, keep watching T10 Info TV SK channel by subscribing and hit the bell icon to receive notification.